All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakak Radash, Yahweh. That's the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God. But his name in the ancient Hebrew tongue is Yahweh, which means he is or he exists. Ba'ashem is in the name of Yahushai. That's the name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. But his name in the ancient Hebrew tongue is Yahushai, which means he saves or he delivers. Bahashem in the name of the Rakak Kodash, which is the Holy Spirit. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native Americans. All right, this is your brother Zion Bar, part of the GMS Ancient of Days Los Angeles camp. Currently teaching with the Akim in Sherman Oaks, coming back at you with a quick lesson. And the title of this lesson is going to be Blood Shall Pursue Thee. All right, and I'm going to be going into how Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, has a very bloody past, all right? And he has yet to pay for many of the atrocities that he has have done upon this earth, particularly to the children of Israel, all right? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? But that time for him to pay is vastly approaching. All right, so I don't want to ramble too long. Let's just go ahead and jump straight into the scriptures, all right? And we'll begin, let's begin in Nahum, chapter 1, and verse 2, and it reads, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is jealous, and the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai revengeth. The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai revengeth, and is furious. The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserveth wrath for his enemies. You see that? So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is angry, and he reserves his wrath for his enemies. And though Esau Edom has not been judged yet, it doesn't mean he's going to get away with all the atrocities that he has committed upon this earth. You see? And you notice it says adversaries and enemies, right? Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, is indeed the enemy of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. The Lord hates them. Okay, and you can read about all the enemies of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and the nation of Israel in Psalms the 83rd chapter. You see, and Esau Edom is listed as enemy number 1. You see, but let's continue on. All right, verse 3. This is the point. Nahum 1 and 3, and it reads, "The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is slow to anger, and great in power. And he will not at all acquit the wicked." You see, so Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is slow to anger, all right? But he's not going to acquit the wicked, all right? You reap exactly what you sow, all right? And Esau Edom is actually described as the wicked that the Bible speaks of, all right? Pursuant to Job 9 and 24 and Malachi 1 and 4, all right? They are the wicked that the scriptures speak of, all right? But let's read on, all right? The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai hath his way in the whirlwind, and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. All right? So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is not going to acquit the wicked Esau Edom, all right? They're going to have to pay for everything in which they have done, all right? But let's move forward. Let's grab Psalms, the 50th chapter. We're going to jump down to verse 20. And it reads, it's Psalms 50 and 20, and it reads, "Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, and slanderest thy own mother's son." All right? Who was Esau Edom's brother? Jacob, all right? And out of Jacob came the 12 tribes of Israel, right? But they slander us all the time. You see, and speak ill of the Israelites, right? And it's gone on for many generations, you see? But let's read on, verse 21. "These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself," all right? So Yahweh Hashem Shai has yet to judge Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. So they're believing that Yahweh Hashem Shai is with them, since they have gotten away with all these atrocities, you see? Because Yahweh Hashem Shai has kept his silence, you see? And hasn't judged them, all right? But let's read on. But I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes, you see? So Yahweh Hashem Shai is going to correct them, all right? And is indeed going to judge them, you see? And I quoted it, but let's grab it. Galatians chapter 6, verse 7, straight to the point. And it reads, be not deceived, Yahweh Hashem Shai is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. You see that? So Yahweh Hashem Shai is not mocked. Whatever you sow is exactly what you're going to reap. And Esau, Edom, has done nothing but murder, kill, and steal. And that's how they've gotten everything into their possession, by the sword, which is their blessing, right? A lot of killing and stealing, all right, is what Esau, Edom has done, and they have yet to pay for any of these atrocities, you see? But these scriptures are faithful and true, all right? So they've sown nothing but wickedness, so they're going to be judged for that. Point blank, period. You see? But now let's grab Habakkuk. The second chapter, we'll begin at verse 4, and it reads, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, all right? Pursuing to, this is going into Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed right man. His soul's not upright in him, right? But let's read on. But the just shall live by his faith, all right? And that's the righteous, the Israelites, ultimately the elect of the nation of Israel, are going to live by faith, all right? We put all faith in Yahweh Hashem Shai, all right? But let's read on, verse 5. Yea, also because he transgresses by wine, all right, his different philosophies, right? He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death. You see that? The scriptures describe Esau, Edom as hell, and he is as death, all right? But let's read on. And cannot be satisfied, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto himself all nations, and he heapeth unto him all people. You see? And this perfectly describes Esau, Edom, all right? He's greedy, and he cannot be satisfied. All right, he's conquered damn near the entire planet. You see, where even other nations have taken upon his philosophies. You see, but let's jump down to verse 8, and it reads, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood and the violence of the land, of the city, of all that dwell therein. You see that? So Esau, Edom is going to eventually be spoiled and judged, right? I got a direct precept with the links up with this. Let me grab it really quick, then we'll jump back to Habakkuk. It's Isaiah 33 and 1, all right? And it says, the judgment of Yahweh Hashem Shai is the headline, right? But let's read this really quick. Isaiah 33 and 1, and it reads, woe to thee that spoilest, woe meaning destruction, right? And thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and thou dealt not, Salakia, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. All right? And that's exactly what Esau, Edom has done. All right, they've spoiled when they haven't been spoiled, and they've been dealing treacherously with all nations when no one has dealt with them that way, right? But let's read on. When thou cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. You see? So Esau, Edom is indeed going to be judged, all right? And that time is vastly approaching. You see? But now let's grab Habakkuk 2, and I just want to jump down to verse 12 really quick. All right, and it reads, Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. You see? And that's how Babylon the Great, aka America, has been established. All right, it's been built off the blood of the Israelites. All right, from what they did to the northern kingdom and to the southern kingdom. You see? So it says, so woe meaning destruction, right? Destruction to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. All right, iniquity ultimately being sin, many transgressions. You see? And that's exactly what Esau, Edom has done. All right. But they are indeed going to pay for this. All right. But let's now grab Ezekiel, the 35th chapter. All right. And the point is in 5. But if you read up from we'll just read up from verse 2 down. All right. So this is Ezekiel 35 and 2, and it reads, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. All right. Mount Seir, going back to where Esau, Edom comes from. Right. So this is talking about Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai power, O Mount Seir, I am against thee. I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Verse 4, I will lay thy cities to waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right? So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is going to make Esau, Edom's lands desolate, primarily Babylon the Great, aka America, all right, during the time of World War III, when it's destroyed with ICBM nuclear missiles, you see? But let's read on. This is the point, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by force of the sword in the time of their calamity, all right? And Esau, Edom still has that perpetual hatred, all right, towards you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? But let's read on. And in the time that their iniquity had an end, verse 6, Therefore, as I live, said the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So you see that? Esau, Edom is indeed going to be judged, all right? And that time is vastly approaching, all right? Let's grab this really quick. Numbers chapter 35, and the point's in the 33rd verse. I think it's the last verse. Actually, second to last verse. And it reads, this is Numbers 35 and 33, Salakia. And it reads, So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So you see that? So it can't be cleansed by the blood that's been shed, but rather by the ones that shed it, all right? And that's Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. They have shed plenty of blood, all right? And they have yet to pay for it, all right? All right, we got, I'm just going to grab a few more precepts, and then we'll close this thing out. But let's go back to Ezekiel, the 25th chapter. We're going to begin at verse 12. And it reads, the headline being Edom, right? Thus said the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai power, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Judah, the southern kingdom, right, by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon him. Verse 13, this is the point. Therefore, thus said the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman being the so-called Germans, right? And they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. You see that? This is a future prophecy that we are slowly approaching, vastly approaching, you see? Verse 14, this is the point. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hands of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai power. You see? So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is going to inflict vengeance on Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man and his nation by the children of Israel. We just read it. You see? So this is vastly approaching. Esau, Edom is going to have to pay for all the atrocities that they have committed, you see? But let's just grab one last precept and we'll close this thing out. Amos 1 and 11. I'm going to grab this in the NLT. So this is Amos 1 and 11. Straight to the point. And it reads, this is what the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai says. The people of Edom have sinned again and again, and I will not let them go unpunished. They chased down their relatives, the Israelites, with swords, showing them no mercy. In their rage, they slashed them continually and were unrelenting in their anger. Verse 12, so I will send down fire on Teman, and the fortresses of Basra will be destroyed, all right? Basra was the ancient capital city of Edom, which is now Babylon the Great represents Basra, since it is essentially the capital of Esau, Edom's empire. You see that? And what fire is that? It's thermonuclear fire, all right? And it's going to be destroyed. You see? This is what is, that is part of Esau, Edom's judgment. You see? And ultimately, after 1,000 years in captivity, you can read about it in Obadiah, they're going to be completely wiped out. All right? But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just want to put something together quick through the Spirit. Lord's will, this has been edifying. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Rakak Radash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Until the next time, Lord's will, I say shalom.